Hi, this is John Naughton and Andy Hamilton. We're in the Des Moines Register newsroom talking about the future of the CIML. And Andy, we're going to be rounding up the CIML for the fans today. And is this going to be a whole new rodeo?
Well, CIML has gone through potential realignment talks in the past. Obviously, this is something new when you're talking about 8 schools that are potentially breaking free from the conference. The 5 Des Moines Metro schools plus Indianola, Ottumwa, and Marshalltown branching off to possibly form their own conference. But about 3 years ago, the conference went through talks about realignment, and what came of those were 4 divisions, 3 groups of 4, plus the 7-team Metro Conference, which is essentially the 5 Des Moines schools plus Ottumwa and Indianola. So it sounds like a lot of signs are pointing in that direction that it's going to be 2 different conferences now. It's going to be a new conference with 8 teams plus what's left of the CIML, which would be 11 schools.
So, can you tell us what's changed in the CIML that has kind of brought about this necessity for discussing the Des Moines schools and others breaking away from the pack?
Well, the disparity between the haves and have-nots seems to grow a little bit more all the time. You look at the enrollment numbers, and the suburban schools have their enrollment numbers have really exploded in the last 10 years. I think Johnston and Southeast Polk have gone up 46% or more each. Waukee has gone up 135% in the last 10 years. Potentially looking at a second Waukee school here sometime in the next decade. Maybe, do we see the same thing happening at Southeast Polk and Johnston as well? Is Dallas Center Grimes going to grow into a large school classification as well? That's a school that's nearly doubled here in the last 10 years as well. So I think that, it's just a sign of the times. Things change. One of the illustrations that I made in my column for Wednesday's paper is 1979. Emmetsburg played Urbandale in the state football finals, in the 3A football finals, which just seems incomprehensible now where those schools are at enrollment-wise. And so, things change, and I think we're just at a point where the CIML doesn't exactly fit for everybody anymore. The bigger the conference gets, the more differences that you see in terms of schools throughout. There are a lot of big suburban schools. There are a lot of metro schools that don't have the budgets and facilities that the suburban schools have. And I think we're just at a point now where it really doesn't fit for everybody under this 19-team umbrella.
I think that financially there's also some discrepancies too. That if you look at some of these schools that have been riding this real estate boom in the Des Moines area, that they're growing in enrollment, yes, but they're also getting a lot of flush money coming in financially to be able to build these high-powered weight rooms, fitness centers, gyms, stadiums, the best facilities. Competitively, what does that do to the schools that in this particular case might be have-nots, or they just, is it an arms race for some of those schools?
Well, I think you look at sports at any level, professional sports, Major League Baseball, college football. The bigger the budget you have, the more room for error you have, the more resources. The more you can spend on coaches, the more you can spend on facilities. Those are all advantages for the suburban schools at this point. And you don't hear very often of athletes transferring from suburban schools into metro schools, but you hear those stories once in a while the other way around. And like I said, the haves are growing. They're having more at their disposal. The have-nots, it's just harder for them to keep pace. But that being said, I think the Des Moines Public Schools have invested a lot into activities in the last year or so. They've really emphasized junior high sports. They're putting a greater emphasis on athletics, I think, and this is one way where they think if they break out on their own, with 8 schools, that it's more of a level playing field, that success can breed success, and they can challenge for more conference championships. And that's one way that interest in athletics can grow even more, and that can lead the Des Moines metro schools to more success and prolonged success in athletics.
All right, the CIML athletic directors are going to be meeting on Wednesday to discuss the future of this conference. It's obviously going to be a process that is going to develop over a period of time. So stay tuned to DesMoinesRegister.com for further developments in the story and this herd of CIML schools.